Preparations continue for the Firestone Indy Lights event this weekend at the beautiful Barber Motorsports Park. Good evening, good morning, we should say, from Alabama. I'm Mark Jeans along with Dave First. Could be good evening, depending on where in the world you might be joining us on IndyCar.com. Nick Yeoman will be manning pit road for this qualifying session. 15 cars entered this weekend, and so far, the rabbit has been Peter Dempsey, the rookie, in the number 36 machine in the first practice session yesterday, turning the first lap at 1:18.8609. 2 practice sessions yesterday, but day first. Session number 2 really didn't offer a lot in terms of the drivers getting an opportunity for qualifying or race day setup.
Started off with rain during the latter portion of the IndyCar Series practice, and that greatly affected what the Firestone Indy Lights guys were able to do because they were waiting out the track to dry up before they could turn some laps that really meant something. A couple guys went out and turned some laps in some intermediate track conditions, but really weren't able to tell too much about what they were able to do in that second session. So you go back to the first session, Peter Dempsey, Anders Krohn, Connor Daly, Joseph Newgarden, Esteban Guerreri, the top 5 in that first session. They'll be among the guys to watch here in this session.
As we mentioned, 15 cars are entered this weekend. This is a 17-turn course, and Dave, we've had an opportunity to walk around it a bit. We were here last year. Of course, it's the second season at the IndyCar Series. The Firestone Indy Lights has visited Birmingham, Alabama, and Barber Motorsports Park, and certainly the engineers and drivers are going to have their hands full putting together just the right setup for race day.
I think it's appropriate that on Masters weekend, we're talking about the undulations of this facility. Really spectacular. The elevation changes are only 50 feet up or down throughout the 2.3-mile layout, but some of the ups and downs that this track has really offers demanding. Nick, I tell you what, you've got more in the conditions down there. It feels kind of muggy out there.
You know, a couple have made their way to pit road, including the 28 machine. Both Team Moore machines have made their way back onto pit road.
And there's a great chance by the end of this session, I mean, guys are going out, seeing what the conditions hold right now, what they can do on their scuffed Firestones. Great chance they'll come in probably towards the latter part of the session, throw on some sticker tires that are going to have a little bit more grip, going to be a little better through the corners. That's when the speeds and the times will really shape up, and we'll see what happens there.
So Team Moore continues to set the pace here in qualifying. Surprisingly, Victor Garcia and Gustavo Jacobin currently find themselves atop the speed chart. Mikhail Grenier continues to run in the top 10 in that 63 machine. He's completed the most laps along with Garcia in the 12 car and Goncalves in the 3 machine. They're approaching double digits now as we speak, as we see the 26 machine make its way across the start-finish line. And, of course, the car of James Winslow out of Andretti Autosport, who continues to work over the 28 machine just below us. That's Duarte Ferreira, who finished 8th at St. Pete. Lives in Indianapolis now. Brian Herta, Autosports.
From Angola.
That's right. In 2010, he was 3rd in the light division of South American Formula 3. That was his first full season ever in a race car from 06 to 09. Spent his time pretty much in driving schools and getting testing sessions. So Duarte Ferreira is someone who has captured the attention of team owner Brian Herta and Steve Newey, and they certainly, no question, have an eye for talent. As we talked about a little bit yesterday, great news at St. Petersburg when Brian Herta and Steve Newey announced that they had secured the services of former series champion and Indy 500 winner Dan Weldon for the month of May.
One of the great personalities in the IndyCar Series. Never a bad thing to have Dan Weldon involved in the Indianapolis 500, and maybe long-term, too. There's always that possibility, and I know Dan would very much be a part of that deal if that comes to fruition. And now Esteban Guerreri atop the speed chart, 1:18.036. So that is the fastest so far of the weekend. The 22 machine of Victor Garcia still in second, and now the 3 car.
7 machine with Lucas Oil sponsorship on the side pod, and as we mentioned before, has a storied history in Firestone Indy Lights. J.K. Vernay, the winner here a year ago. piloted that same machine, and Alex Lloyd dominated the Firestone Indy Light Series a couple of years ago when he had an opportunity to be behind the wheel of that number 7 machine. So for now, Esteban Guerreri continues to set the pace, Nick Yeoman, here at Barber Motorsports Park.
I'll tell you what, track conditions definitely picking up for these guys. I know Dave mentioned earlier that the Team Moore cars would come in and they'd put on some sticker tires. Both cars were sitting on pit lane, and Gustavo Jacobin was sitting second on the charts, and no more than 2 minutes later, he's already fallen down to 6th. They put sticker tires on, and he's gone back out there. As for Victor Garcia, they're getting ready to fire up the engine and head out as well. These guys yesterday, the Team Moore drivers, were 8th and 9th in practice with the combined results. So it may sound a little surprising that they were as fast as they were early on, but when I talked to Mark Moore yesterday, he said if they back up the speeds that they showed during the test about a month ago, that they were going to be impressive, and so far they are. But it certainly shows that it seems like Sam Schmidt's team really starting to flex some muscle here in the middle of the qualifying session.
Now Victor Carbonet continues to work his way up the speed chart. He is now 4th quick.
Connor Daly now in the top 3, sitting second at 1:17. So we continue to whittle away at that clock, Mark Janes, as we've now gone through that 1:18 barrier. The 11 machine of Joseph Newgarden, now the quickest in this session, sitting P1 with his teammate Connor Daly sitting second, as we now have a full course yellow here at Barber Motorsports Park. Mark, what do you see here?
Well, we've got a car that spun off the race course, and we were trying to get a glimpse of the replay. And again, because this is a road and street course, we're using it's the number 11 machine. Took us a minute. Joseph Newgarden has spun off the course and brought out the full course caution, and the Honcho safety crew is there, put the tow strap on him, and hoping to get him back underway shortly. And our view on that particular portion of the course was a bit obstructed on the monitor, but then we got a good look at it, and he's going to have to come back to pit road. They're doing their best to clean the tires off, because he picked up a lot of debris off the trap when he slid into it. It did its job in slowing his momentum. It doesn't appear as though that he made any contact, but certainly not the way Joseph Newgarden wanted his morning to go after he had posted a pretty quick lap.
And because of that, he now slides down the speed chart. That fast lap now taken away from Joseph Newgarden. So you go from 1st to 6th right now. His official time now at 1:18.2. So you lose almost a second by spinning and causing that full course yellow.
So now Connor Daly atop the speed chart at 1:17, 6:82. Guerreri, Garcia, Carbonet, Anders Krohn is 5th quick, and Newgarden, who brought out the full course caution, making his way back around the course. Gustavo Jacobin has slipped to 7th. Then it's Wilson, Winslow, Grenier, Dempsey, Ostella, Goncalves, Ferreira, and Garcia, the 15 cars who have qualified, who are qualifying for the race on Sunday for the Firestone Indy Lights.
Connor Daly, a busy guy over the next week or so. In fact, he's leaving after tomorrow's race at 3 o'clock. He's going to catch a flight to Barcelona, Spain, where he will test for Team Carlin, the GP3 team that he is with overseas, one of the top teams in Europe. He's in a race car between the Firestone Indy Lights Series and GP3 overseas. He's in a race car 9 of 10 days, traveling more than 8,000 miles since he finished second at St. Pete 2 weeks ago. So Connor Daly, busy man, racking up those frequent flyer miles, no doubt.
You know, he's loving every minute of it. No question about that. That's all these guys want to do is race.
To be 19 years old, to be flying back and forth from Europe, living the dream right now. Not the ultimate dream, because that undoubtedly will be the next step. IndyCar IndyCar Series, or perhaps overseas, up that ladder as well as we go back to green, Mark.
Yep, cars have been refired. Some have chose to stay on pit road a little longer, make some last-minute adjustments, and head back out onto the course. As the clock continues to tick away on this particular qualifying session. for the Firestone Indy Lights.
Just about 15 minutes or so left in this session to decide pole for tomorrow's Honda Indy Grand Prix Firestone Indy Lights event. Again, Connor Daly leading the way. Esteban Guerreri, Victor Garcia, Victor Carbonet, Anders Krohn right now the top 5.
A 40-minute session, and we are at the halfway mark. And the lone caution brought out by Joseph Newgarden, who got off course at the exit of turn number 1, Nick Yeoman.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as soon as he got back on pit lane, all the guys from the Sam Schmidt team furiously looked underneath the rear suspension of the car, checked it out, put some sticker tires on, and he's heading right back on the track as we speak. I mean, he was showing some speed, had that top speed, and then obviously with the incident fell back to 6th, but everything checked out okay, no damage, and Joseph Newgarden's back on the track. RoboPong,
the sponsorship on the engine cowling of the car as he makes his way down the pit lane and will make the left-handed turn at the exit of pit road. There goes the number 9 machine of the Viking, Anders Krohn, making his way out onto the course. He's currently 5th quick on the speed chart, and for now, they're all chasing Connor Daly at 1:17 and change. Now, Joseph Newgarden had cracked the 1:17 barrier too, but that one had to go out the window when he brought out the full course caution. But fortunately, he didn't make any contact. He was just off of the race course, and a quick tug with a toe strap got him back out onto the course, and he was back underway, and neither he nor his other 14 competitors lost too much in the way of opportunities to qualifying time.
Very lucky if you're Joseph Newgarden that you didn't do any damage to the back end of that machine. Of course, again, the St. Pete champion from 2 weeks ago. Last year competed in GP3, won pole at Hockenheim, finished 18th in points. 2009, won 9 races in Formula Ford. If you follow Twitter, and I know a lot of folks do, I do. Mark, we need to get you on Twitter one of these days.
Need to start tweeting something.
I know. His Twitter address is Racer of Tomorrow. Now, you got to like a guy that has, you know, what it takes to have your address, Racer of Tomorrow. You've heard of Car of Tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes by the start-finish line. Joseph Newgarden, the Racer of Tomorrow, as he continues to climb the speed chart again, 1:18.2 on that last lap.
So Daly, Guerreri, Victor Garcia, Carbonet, Jacobin, Anders Krohn, Joseph Newgarden, Wilson, Winslow, Grenier.
Sam Schmidt's guys, nose to tail, ready to go. They'll be among the ones to watch. Esteban Guerreri, the quickest right now at 1:17.3. Connor Daly a tick behind, followed by Stephen Wilson, Andretti Autosport machine, and Victor Garcia from Team Moore.
Wilson giving chase to Garcia. Typically, sometimes you'll see drivers lay back a little bit to give themselves a little real estate so they can really get off a good lap. But for now, he appears to be giving chase.
Just under 2 minutes to go now. 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session.
I would say one lap. This is it.
This is it.
I mean, this is your opportunity to see if anybody has anything at all for Guerreri, Daly, Wilson, Garcia, or Krohn. Those are your top 5. They make their way. First group of cars out of turn 17. That's the number 2 machine of Gustavo Jacobin. 22 machine of Garcia. There's the 5 machine of Wilson crossing the start-finish line. He's 3rd quick.
Followed by his teammate.
Winslow. Dempsey goes by. The number 12 machine of Juan Pablo Garcia. Anders Krohn in that red number 9 machine. And the number 11 machine of Newgarden, followed by his teammate Connor Daly with 1 minute. 1 minute remaining in this session. The number 4 machine of Jorge Goncalves, currently 13th quick on the speed chart.
This is going to be interesting the next 45 seconds or so.
Well, the top spot continues to hold Esteban Guerreri at 1:17.3080. Daly just a tick off at 1:17, 3:4.63. Again, that group makes their way through the 14, 15, 16 portion of the course, and they come off of turn 17. Jakob currently 6th quick. There's the 22 machine of Victor Garcia, who has gone to P1. Checkered flag is out. Did Garcia steal the pole at the last moment? Guerreri is P2, Connor Daly P3, then Wilson, then Krohn, then Jakob, Newgarden, Dempsey, Carbonet, Grenier, Ostella, Winslow, Goncalves, Ferreira, and Garcia. That would create a lot of smiles in the Team War pit. Victor Garcia, the Spaniard, drove in the World Series by Renault. Also drove in the British Euro Series and Spanish F3. He finished 15th at St. Petersburg, and that would be a pretty nice rebound, Dave.